The European Super League idea was like a matchstick thrown into a pile of dry leaves. It sparked a firestorm of outrage from fans, governing bodies, and some clubs. Why did this ambitious plan go up in flames so fast? It all boils down to what fans crave: a thrilling battle between the best clubs and top-notch players, all competing for a cherished spot in the most prestigious tournaments. Nobody wanted to witness teams simply buying their way to glory, leaving no room for the excitement of the unknown. But hold on a second. Isn't the Premier League already stretching the beautiful game to its limits with all that financial firepower? Get a seat and watch the drama unfold. Did you know the Premier League is the new Super League? It's not just a competition, it's a glitzy showcase of big bucks where success is dealt to the highest bidder. Here's the twist. All the cash is flowing into jaw-dropping transfers. As the January transfer window closed earlier this year, football bigwigs all over Europe collectively held their breath. Why, you ask? Because the numbers were jaw-dropping. We're talking over $1 billion. But here's the real headline grabber. A single Premier League club, Chelsea, went on a spending spree that made wallets weep. They casually tossed around a staggering $360 million. That's nearly $100 million more than all the top clubs in the Bundesliga, La Liga, Serie A, and Ligue 1 combined. Just let that sink in for a moment. Ligue 1, the Bundesliga, La Liga, and Serie A scraped together just shy of $285 million collectively. And remember, this is just the January transfer window we're talking about. It wasn't only Chelsea, but the entire Premier League that caught the spending bug. Even some clubs battling relegation then, like Southampton, Bournemouth, Wolverhampton Wanderers and Leeds United threw around massive sums, each splurging around or even more than $50 million. Yet, hold on to your seats because that was just the tip of the iceberg. Fast forward to the summer of 2023, the football world witnessed an unprecedented spending spree. A staggering £6.5 billion was dished out worldwide for player transfers, setting a new record in the beautiful game's history. Reports indicate that the total investment in transfers this summer soared past €7.631 billion. That's £6.56 billion, involving a whopping 1,617 players. This financial frenzy surpassed the previous record set in the summer of 2019, when €7.568 billion, £6.51 billion was splurged on transfers. Unsurprisingly, the Premier League led the charge, contributing a colossal €2.43 billion, £2.1 billion to this astonishing figure. The football world had never seen such a monumental display of financial firepower, which they tried to avoid by protesting against the European Super League idea. In the summer of 2023, Chelsea set the transfer market ablaze with jaw-dropping acquisitions. The Ecuadorian sensation Moises Caicedo led the charge and became one of the summer's most extravagant signings, demanding a princely sum of approximately €116 million. The Blues didn't stop there, as they continued to flex their financial muscles. They lured talents like Romeo Lavia, Christopher Nkunku, Cole Palmer, and Axel Disasi, pouring €62 million, €60 million, €47 million, and €45 million respectively into these transformative signings. Chelsea were determined to secure their place at the top of the football hierarchy with each hefty investment. However, not to be outdone, their North London rivals Tottenham Hotspur took a different approach. Spurs left no stone unturned in their quest for revitalisation, shelling out a staggering €248.6 million. While James Maddison, acquired for approximately €46.3 million, showcased their mettle as the standout addition, Tottenham Tottenham's spending frenzy didn't stop there. They made waves in the market by securing Brennan Johnson from Nottingham Forest for a whopping €55 million. This summer, Arsenal stepped up their game, outspending big names like RB Leipzig, Newcastle United, Bayern Munich, Liverpool and Manchester United. Their goal? Closing the gap to Premier League champions Manchester City and shoring up their team. They only went all out in some positions. They addressed crucial needs. They brought in Jurrien Timber for €40 million, made Kai Havertz their own for €75 million, and secured Declan Rice's transfer, making him the priciest British signing of the 2023 summer window. The Manchester clubs played their part in the transfer game too, with smooth signings like Mateus Nunes, Mateo Kovacic, Josko Gvardiol and Jeremy Doku. Manchester City showcased the impressive skills of sporting director Chiki Begiristain. Meanwhile, Manchester United surprised everyone by splashing a hefty sum on the relatively unknown 20-year-old Rasmus Højlund. Alongside him, they welcomed Andre Onana, Sofian Amrabat, Mason Mount, Johnny Evans and Sergio Reguilon to strengthen their squad. This spending spree in the Premier League highlights how it flexes its financial muscle compared to Spain, France, Italy and Germany. Competing against the best. Not only are the top teams making waves, but even the underdogs are now daring to challenge the giants from other leagues. The Premier League has become a troubling powerhouse. Take the case of Nicolo Zaniolo, the talented midfielder or forward who found himself falling out with Jose Mourinho and Roma's passionate fans. Zaniolo made it clear that he was open to a move, and two big names, Milan and Spurs, came knocking. But it was the unexpected Bournemouth that made the only concrete offer. That says a lot about the Premier League's allure. Teams that face the threat of relegation in this league are now going head-to-head with those that once dreamt of joining the European Super League. You're surprised, aren't you? When Bournemouth are ready to invest in transfers, while top Serie A clubs remain cautious, it's a testament to how the infusion of money into the Premier League affects the global game. What does this mean for other leagues and the future of transfers? The captivating allure of many football clubs' rich histories is undeniable. Yet, from the pinnacle to the grassroots, the arrival of elite players ignites a fiery zeal, threatening to eclipse other European leagues. But what magnetizes these stars to this league? It's the colossal paychecks and the overflowing cash reserves. As more of these football maestros flock to this league, the draw for spectators intensifies. Consequently, the charm of other European leagues begins to wane. Just consider the case of João Felix, who departed Atletico Madrid in a January loan deal to don the Chelsea blue, leaving La Liga bereft of one of its most creative and spellbinding talents within a top-tier squad. And then there's Mikhailo Mudryk, who set the Champions League ablaze with his Shakhtar Donetsk performances, only to depart as well. Enzo Fernandez burst onto the scene during the World Cup, capturing hearts with his brilliance, and Chelsea swiftly swooped in, luring him away from Benfica. In this thrilling tale of talent migration, the league's burgeoning wealth and mesmerising football are turning it into the epicenter of the footballing world, leaving rival leagues in its shadow. This season unquestionably stands as an anomaly, an outlier in the grand tapestry of football. La Liga, for instance, grapples with stringent player transfer regulations, held in check by a salary cap that casts shadows over their ability to command jaw-dropping transfer fees. Meanwhile, Serie A's elite clubs find themselves under intense scrutiny, their fiscal antics scrutinised with a magnifying glass. A prime example, Juventus, a storied powerhouse, were barred from this season's European showdowns due to a disheartening points deduction, the result of financial irregularities entwined with historical transfers. Even amongst its premier clubs, the Bundesliga has cultivated a reputation for prudent spending. Yet let's distinguish this thriftiness from a shortage of talent. Bayern Munich, for instance, orchestrated a masterstroke in acquiring João Cancelo on loan from Manchester City early in January, a testament to their relentless pursuit of excellence. But as you scan the league's landscape, you'll notice a different story unfolding. Clubs like Schalke, Hertha Berlin and Bochum, mired in the relegation quagmire, opt for caution over lavish spending, reflecting their pragmatic approach to survival. This infusion of money is like rocket fuel for the Premier League, igniting a thrilling wave of expansion and ambition. The top-tier clubs are pursuing nothing short of excellence in their player recruitment. They're in hot pursuit of extraordinary talents like Mudryk and Fernandes, seasoned warriors with battle scars from the football trenches. These players are the cream of the crop, captivating fans with their every move, and it's becoming increasingly clear that only English clubs have a knack for luring them in quickly. Yet, unless we discover a way to level the playing field, the Premier League will continue to cast its radiant glow, casting other leagues into the shadows. And mark my words, the astonishing treble-winning season of Manchester City is merely the beginning of a magnificent and at the same time sad journey for football. Brace yourselves for an onslaught of spine-tingling moments that will leave you breathless. Remember to comment, like and subscribe for more fascinating content.